Hello everybody and welcome for a look around the interior of this Falcon 27, starting with the companionway at the back or the stern of the boat. As you can see, the companionway is open, which allows us to step through from the really nice and wide and lengthy swim platform, so great for water sports, fishing, etc. And once we're in, we can keep the kids and the family dog in place by closing the companionway like that, nice and easy to get through. Just looking up before we look at the rest of the interior, we can see we've got a really lovely cockpit enclosure, cockpit tent, etc. That completely encloses the cockpit, means that we can keep the rain off in the bad weather, the wind out, etc. And it means we can keep the sun off in the really nice weather as well. Looks very recent to me because the upholstery looks in nice condition, or the canvas works looks in nice condition, and the windows look nice and clear too. So doing a really nice job today of keeping the wind out. Fantastic. As we step into the cockpit, you can see on the left hand side, or the port aft corner, or the port quarter of the boat, we've got nice L-shaped seating. That all lifts out to allow us access to the engine space below. We've got two great big Volvos underneath there. We just take these away at least, and we can lift the lid and get a good look inside there. No worries at all. And if I just turn around, we can see that we have the shore supply incomer there. At the bottom of the radar arch, we've got a stereo speaker port and starboard, and obviously the framing for the cockpit tent as well. Really rather nice in here. Lovely big space, plenty of room to walk about. We've got a big area here for entertaining, etc. We can get out of the aft cabin from this boat down here. Massive, great big escape hatch, which is easy to get in and out of should you need to, but also really big to let lots of light and air in should you wish to whilst you're sleeping down there. If we look up a little bit, you can see we've got lots of room in here, as mentioned. Loads of head height. I'm 5'9", and at the very lowermost part of this cockpit tent here, I'm nowhere near the roof, so that's really good for the taller people too. On the right hand side is the helm area, on the left hand side is the first mate's area. As you can see, we've got a nice big bench seat here and one here as well. We've got little envelope type storages behind there for your paperwork, etc, etc. But let's take a little bit of a closer look at the helm area first. So nice big seat, probably room enough for two there, although the wheel is centred somewhat midships in the seat itself. Maybe it's just a nice big armchair for one, but who cares. We've got a nice footrest down here. We've got, if I just move in a little bit closer, we can see to our starboard side, we've got the throttles, port and starboard. We've got the manual fuel stops, although the engine should stop on the keys, but if we need that, we can. Here we've got the wheel. To the right hand side of it, we've got engine hours, and they read 397.8 port, 569.2 starboard. We've got a small electrics panel. We've got the port engine speed, we've got the oil pressure, water temperature, volts and fuel tanks, and the key obviously, and the same for the starboard side there as well. We've got some indication here of things running. We've got bow up, bow down controls, etc, etc, and also the windlass as well. We have a VHF DSC just at the back there, and we've got more trim control, more navigation instruments, and some LED indication up there. And just below that, we've got inset a small navigation station for those of you that are still using the paper charts, so we can stick that underneath there, or your favourite magazine, whichever you would like. And if we just sit back and look, we can see we've got a really great view all the way around this boat, through the windscreen, through the side windows, up through the spray hood here. This does open up here, so we can have an airflow straight through and out the back of the cockpit tent. And just carrying on, just to look around at the view, we can see we've got a really good view all around. There's a little bit of obscuring here and a bit by the radar arch, but generally speaking, really good should you be manoeuvring around with your canvas works up, etc. A little bit of oxidation or delamination on the side windows there, I noticed, but that's more of a cosmetic thing, I think. Now, looking over at the port side from this area, you can see we've got a really nice area here, given over to a nice comfortable chair for one, nice backrest, etc, with a footrest too. And the companionway door, we've got a plexiglass affair, just slides over to the port side. We've got nice big bars on it there, so if we need to hang on to it, we can, and slides it out of the way there without encompassing or encumbering itself within the walkway here. And the walkway, as we go through, lovely and wide, nice and easy to get through, no problem at all. So I'll just stand in the companionway and look back, and we can see the cockpit in all its glory. What a nice area. Could she be the one for you? Let's turn around and look down below. Now, I have been down below already, and it is absolutely lovely down here. We've got light wood, we've got light coloured carpet, we've got light coloured upholstery. I'll just sit here on the companionway, which is normally where I do sit, have a little bit of a look around. Starting at the top, you can see we've got a nice high coach roof here, or deck head or headlining. We've got a nice It's not a hatch, it's a window. It does probably could do with replacing its cosmetic laminated there, or delaminated. And that head height does go down as we go over the saloon table, but that's where you'd be sitting or possibly sleeping. And incidentally, yes, this does make into a massive, great big double with the saloon table drop down. You can see the infill cushion on the table as we speak now. And really unusual to have such a massive lobby here from whence you can go to the heads, to the aft cabin. You can cook food, you can go to sit here, you can work in this utility area here. Really nice to see. Although we are slightly short on things to grab hold of, although as we make our way around, we have got fiddles around, we've got dwarf bulkheads, etc, etc, so I'm sure we'll be absolutely fine. But let's start on the starboard side. In fact, let's start looking at the companionway we just came down. Nice and easy to get down, so over the lip and then 1, 2, 3, 4 steps down. Bit of stowage in the steps itself, which is really good. We've got a hatch down here which gives us access to the bills. There's an electric bills pump down there, and if I open this door here, that gives access to the after cabin. Now this is a really lovely cabin for a boat of this type, and we don't see them like this that often. We have a nice lobby here, which if you get in and close the door, there's enough room there to get changed. We can sit on here as well while we're getting changed, etc. We've got good head height in there. I'm 5'9" and I wasn't touching, so that's good. And it is just really nice to have a little seat here. We've got a storage area here. We've got an opening window with a shelf, a little bit of electrics there too, a mirror on the inboard side there, which is always handy. And if I just go inside and sit down, you can see, whilst we have a low head height here and a really low head height here, this is because of the mouldings above us. Once you're in, you've got a really nice wide, really nice long bed, probably almost the full athwartships distance, apart from the space given over to this cupboard here. But once you're in, the person in the after section can probably sit up there and read nicely. And we also have that massive hatch, which we saw from the cockpit. So if we wanted to get out, we could do, or if you just wanted to let lots of air in, that would be really nice. Normally those hatches are really small and don't really do much for us. So really nice sleeping area for a boat of this type. Very good. So we'll escape out of the forward door from that cabin. Here we go. And we'll make our way into the galley. Here we are. So it's almost a modular unit, but it's sat on the starboard aft corner of the accommodation. Down here we have a fridge, we have cupboards, we have a shelf. We've got a nice decent sink unit. We've got running water, hot and cold. There's a calorifier in the engine space. Here we've got more cupboard space, more storage, a nice opening window, and a nice cooker with a couple of burners there, and a hot plate under a cover there. So really, really useful, and more than you would get on a lot of boats like this, which would often make use of just a single Origo burner, etc, etc. Just noticed as well, we have 240 volts around the boat, which is nice. There's a nice double socket under there. So this boat feels really homely. She smells good, and she's lovely and just nice and bright down here. Colours are great, and you know, I can tell she's been modernised. You can see we've got little electronic features around, to be confirmed whether they're staying, but there definitely have been some recent additions to this boat. But anyway, let's look at the main seating area. So we've got a nice U-shaped area which will sit lots of people down here. We've got a great big cupboard up here. This slides open to reveal a massive great big locker inside there. The port side, a smaller locker, because the other side is given over to the chain locker for the anchor chain. Stereo speakers either side, a hatch set in the deck head as well. Now the deck head is not material, but that's great because that means it just needs a wipe every now and again to stop you know, if it shouldn't be going mouldy, etc. The table does drop down, makes into a lovely great big double by the looks of it, so we can sleep 2 or more there if we fancy it. And we do have some storage underneath the seats, but I don't think we have any behind the seats themselves. That's where the hull is. Just moving over to the port side then to finish off this compartment, you can see we've got what I would describe as a utility vanity unit. We have a drawer here, we've got a cupboard, etc. Somewhere for your bits and pieces to go. Maybe you might want to do a bit of nav down here. You could perhaps place a bigger television on here, although the current owners have used what looks like an iPad there. So yeah, really well thought out, and definitely something to be used for storage, etc, etc. Now in the heads compartment, which is coming here, very simple, very straightforward, does what it says on the tin. You've got a heads compartment, and it looks like we have a shower in here as well too. So we have a shelf out here with an opening window, always handy in a heads compartment. The toilet itself is manual and points to starboard aft if you're interested, and we have a little sink in the corner here with what looks like a shower attachment here for just giving yourself a quick douche over at the end of a hard day's water skiing or donutting or whatever it is you like to do. Very nice. I like the interior of this boat. It's light. It's really airy. We've got lots of windows. The upholstery and the carpets are light and bright, and it really smells nice down here. We don't have the mildewy boaty smell that we so often encounter. So really, really lovely. So if you'd like any more information about this boat, go to boatshedbrighton.com, where you'll find lots more pictures, videos and virtual reality. But for now, thanks for watching and have a great day.